stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we got to keep that momentum high from the beginning of practice to the end. So that's one of the major things that he kind of harped on too.
What's the biggest reason you think things haven't worked for the defense collectively this year?
The biggest thing, I honestly can't put my finger on it, to be honest.
What's
a good question.
What's the most frustrating part of all this? Aside from the results, what's the?
I feel like we got to make our plays when they're there, honestly. I feel like that's one of the things that's been shooting ourselves in the foot, whether it's like a deep ball and then a PI call or just giving up a big run, not being in our right gap, things like that. Just the small things have been costing us a lot. So.
I was just asking Todd, there's a mounting toll when you take bad losses like this. It kind of piles up.
Yeah.
How have you guys been able to put Saturday behind you and try and lock back in for another game?
I feel like that's one of the major things that I feel like we've been good at, just like letting go of what happened in the past and just coming to work following Sunday and Monday. Just focus on getting better every day. I mean, that's all we can control. You can't control what happened in the past, but just focusing on getting better every day collectively.
Is there something you see in practice that gives you hope that everyone is kind of locked in?
Just everybody coming to work. Honestly, that's one of the biggest things. Like, when you're going through something like this, it's easy to put your head down and point the finger and blame everybody else, but we know the season hasn't been going like we wanted it to, so we just come to work and always motivate each other to just get our job done day in and day out.
How do you feel like you've handled the flow for your season, just starting out as a starter, taking a little bit of a step back with your role and then moving forward back into starting?
Like I always say, the only thing I can control is the amount of work I put in and my attitude too as well. So I mean, coaches made their calls and made the decisions that they decided to make, and I can't do nothing but just go along with it and keep on my best foot forward every day and controlling what I can control, and that's the work. So I always try to continue to motivate everybody, continue to stay in my playbook, continuing to be ready when my number's called. So that's my biggest thing I can do.
Have you made a decision though next year whether you're going to use your extra COVID year or not?
Honestly, I haven't really even been thinking about that. I know I do have an extra year, but I just want to make sure we just come in and kind of work and just try to win games on Saturdays. That's the biggest thing right now.
What would ultimately go into that decision for you?
About what, using my year?
Yeah.
I actually haven't even thought about it.
That's fair.
I appreciate the question.
What have you thought of Xavion's play? 3 picks in 2 games is pretty nice.
It's amazing. It's amazing to see, man. Like, I remember talking to him before the season started, and he told me telling me about his journey. Not playing a couple of years, finally having the opportunity to step on the field again. I mean, that's a big thing to see him go out there and execute. Man, I see all the work he's put in for those type of moments, just watching film. And like one thing I noticed about him, like whether I'm hanging out with him or just just chilling or anything like that, just being around him, he always got his iPad with him. So I know he always watching film and just keeping his head in the books and keeping his head on the game. So that's one of the biggest things I see from him.
What's it been like to see him get the results the last couple of games and kind of be able to prove himself a little bit?
Man, it's been great, man. You hope for things like that, especially for younger guys like him, getting his name called, stepping up, and having to go out there and perform. And he's been doing it on the brightest light, so I'm excited to see his future and how everything else pans out for him, too.
You guys got off to such a great start at the beginning of the UCLA game with those 2 interceptions back-to-back. What kind of happened after that? Did they make some adjustments? What did you guys see on the field?
I feel like we took our foot off the gas a little bit. We got to just keep going from the beginning to the end. Like I told him, and Coach, he asked about Coach Dante, getting us a little bit about our energy. And I just basically said, like, we got to make sure we come out here with great energy from the beginning to the end. And I feel like everything you do out here on this field, it translates to Saturday. So that was probably one of the big things that contributed to that.
Why do you feel like that's been missing for you guys, the consistent energy?
I don't know, to be honest. That's a good question, though. Maybe we just got to continue to stay on each other, just accountable, make sure everybody just continuing to go throughout the course of the game or the course of practice. We just got to stay on each other and just make sure we got great energy from the beginning to the end.
Dante mentioned on Tuesday that he can't be the one to bring everybody up every time. That they need some players to be leaders too. Has anyone kind of stepped into that, even since Tuesday when he kind of said that and pulled you guys up?
I mean, of course our captains, of course they let us know we got to have great energy. But like, I feel like everybody like like within our position groups, we try to hold each other accountable and let each other know, like, hey, let's pick it up here, or let's just step it up here, you know, things like that. So.
Let's do one more. Good.